At the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, the very air seems thick with secrets. This is the epicenter of global intelligence, a place where information is the world's most valuable currency. But amidst the classified documents and encrypted communications, the agency's most public and perhaps most frustrating secret isn't locked away in a secure vault. Instead, it's cast in copper and stone, an enigmatic monument standing in the main courtyard visible to every agent who passes by. Unveiled in 1990, the sculpture is a complex installation. A massive copper scroll-like plate emerges from the ground covered in a seemingly random cascade of letters. Nearby, a bubbling pool and slabs of petrified wood complete the scene, symbolizing the flow of information through time and the layers of history that conceal truth. It's called Kryptos, from the ancient Greek meaning hidden, a fitting name for a puzzle that has stumped the world's best minds for over 3 decades. The main scroll is divided into 4 distinct sections, each bearing an encoded message. For years, amateur and professional cryptanalysts, including teams from the CIA and NSA, dedicated themselves to cracking the code. They eventually deciphered the first 3 sections, revealing poetic and cryptic passages. But the 4th and final passage, a mere 97 characters known as K4, has stubbornly resisted all attempts at decryption. Its brevity is its strength, rendering traditional deciphering techniques like frequency analysis almost useless. It remains one of the world's most famous unsolved codes. The artist behind this tantalizing creation is Jim Sanborn. He conceived Kryptos not just as a puzzle, but as a commentary on the very nature of intelligence work, the gathering of information, the search for patterns, and the elusiveness of absolute truth. To ensure the ciphers were formidable, Sanborn collaborated with Ed Scheidt, the outgoing chairman of the CIA's Cryptographic Center. Together, the artist and the master spy layered ciphers within ciphers, creating a labyrinth of letters that would mirror the complexity of espionage itself. Sanborn holds the complete solution, a secret he has guarded for decades, offering only occasional cryptic clues to a world desperate for the answer. The process was painstaking. He had to create a system to punch nearly 2,000 characters, forging not just a sculpture, but a long-standing challenge. The challenge was officially unveiled in 1990. At the dedication ceremony, a sealed envelope was handed to the director. Inside was the key to the entire sculpture's code. This confirmed that, indeed, there was a solution. The race to crack the code began almost immediately. Inside the CIA, a small group of analysts was tasked with solving it. Outside the agency, amateur and professional cryptographers joined the hunt. For 8 long years, the cryptic text etched onto Kryptos stood as a silent, mocking challenge to the world's most elite intelligence agency. The sculpture was a puzzle in plain sight, its 4 passages a complex blend of cryptographic techniques. The first cracks in this wall of secrecy would not come from a supercomputer, but from the patient, methodical work of one of their own. Inside the CIA, analyst David Stein spent his evenings hunched over printouts, armed with little more than pencil, paper, and an encyclopedic knowledge of historical ciphers. He suspected the first section was a Vigenère cipher, a method that uses a keyword to shift letters. The challenge wasn't the method, but finding the key. After countless hours of frequency analysis and intuition, Stein found a word that was itself a clue: palimpsest, a manuscript where older text has been erased to make way for new. It was a perfect metaphor for the sculpture's layered meanings. Applying the key, the jumbled letters of K1 resolved into a poetic and slightly unsettling phrase. Between subtle shading and the absence of light lies the nuance of illusion. The intentional misspelling of illusion was the first hint that the sculptor Jim Sanborn was playing a deeper game. Encouraged, Stein turned to the second passage. Using the same Vigenère method, he quickly uncovered another keyword, abscissa, a mathematical term for a coordinate point. This time the message was more direct, containing latitude and longitude coordinates and a chilling question. Does CIA know about this? They should. It's buried out there somewhere. The coordinates pointed to a location just 100 feet from the sculpture itself, hinting at a physical component to the puzzle. But Stein wasn't the only one on the hunt. A quiet, unofficial race was on. Thousands of miles away in California, computer scientist and cryptography enthusiast Jim Sanborn was also attacking the code, but with the brute force of modern computing. Unaware of the CIA's internal progress, Sanborn represented a new wave of citizen codebreakers, connected by the nascent internet and driven by the sheer thrill of the challenge. He was a digital ghost, haunting the same cryptographic territory as the agency's top analyst. Sanborn cracked K1 and K2, But he didn't stop there. He recognized the third passage, K3, as a more complex transposition cipher, where the message's letters were scrambled into a new order. After painstakingly reordering the characters, he uncovered a paraphrased quote from archaeologist Howard Carter's diary, describing the moment he first peered into Tutankhamun's tomb. Slowly, desperately slowly, the remains of the last debris were removed from the passage which led to the lower part of the doorway. With trembling hands I made a tiny breach and looked in. In 1999, Langley went public, announcing on an online cryptography mailing list that he had solved the first 3 parts. The news exploded. An outsider had seemingly beaten the CIA at their own game, cracking a code hidden in their own courtyard. The revelation forced the agency's hand. They quickly announced that David Stein had, in fact, solved the same 3 passages a year earlier, in 1998. The secret was out. 3 of the 4 messages were now public knowledge, but the 4th and final passage, the 97 characters known as K4, has resisted all attempts. It has defied analysts, mathematicians, and supercomputers for decades, its meaning remaining hidden. It remains one of the world's most famous unsolved codes. All attention turned to the final passage, K4. It's a short passage, only 97 characters. This brevity is one of the main reasons for its extreme difficulty. A short text offers very few clues, a statistical desert. Many experts believe it's not just one layer of encryption, a concept known as super encryption. This creates a cryptographic onion. Solvers must peel off one layer to find another puzzle underneath. The world's most powerful computers aimed at those 97 characters, all returned gibberish. For over 2 decades, K4 has maintained a perfect wall of silence, a symbol of perfect secrecy. As the years wore on, all eyes turned to the one man who knew the answer, Jim Sanborn, the Sphinx of Langley. He was regularly contacted by people from all over the world, hoping to confirm they had finally cracked it. In 2010, after 2 decades of silence, he offered the first official clue. He announced that 6 letters from K4 would decrypt to form the word Berlin. 4 years later he offered a second clue. The next 5 letters would decrypt as clock. The clues meant to clarify instead wove spies, physicists, and epic engineering projects into Kryptos' baffling tapestry. The hunt for Kryptos' final passage has evolved far beyond the CIA. It's now a global phenomenon, a vast network of minds focused on a single goal. This digital tribe aren't spies but professors, engineers, history buffs, and amateur sleuths. They gather in online forums, sharing theories, debating methods, and documenting every failed attempt. It's a unique blend of intense collaboration and fierce competition, where everyone dreams of being the one to claim the ultimate prize in amateur cryptography. Modern digital detectives attack K4 with an arsenal of sophisticated tools. They write custom software for brute force attacks, testing millions of keys per second. They apply complex statistical analysis, looking for hidden linguistic fingerprints in the ciphertext. Every known cryptographic technique, from ancient ciphers to the Vigenère system used elsewhere in the sculpture, has been thrown against these 97 characters. Yet, technology alone isn't enough. The consensus is that the solution won't be found by a machine. It will require a uniquely human spark, intuition, an understanding of the artist's mindset, and a creative leap that algorithms can't replicate. And that human element is also the source of immense frustration. There have been countless near misses, those heart-stopping moments when a codebreaker believes they're on the verge of a breakthrough. A word seems to emerge from the gibberish, clock, Berlin. Adrenaline surges, but these flashes of hope are almost always cruel mirages, a textbook case of apophenia, the mind's tendency to see patterns in random noise. The promising word dissolves back into a meaningless string of letters. It's a brutal cycle of euphoria and despair, a testament to the resilience needed to stay on the hunt. Despite the decades of failure, the quest for Kryptos' solution remains a profoundly open invitation. The entire puzzle is in the public domain, for anyone to see. The sculpture stands as a silent challenge, its final passage a cryptographic siren song. To crack it would be to solve the most famous unsolved code of the modern era, etching your name into history alongside giants like Alan Turing. The artist, Jim Sanborn, now in his late 70s, has added a poignant urgency to the quest, hinting that he may not live to see it solved. The final chapter of this story has yet to be written. It's waiting for a mind that can see the pattern everyone else has missed. It's waiting for a codebreaker. It's waiting for you,